What's up, everybody? We back in this thing one more time, man. We have a very special show tonight, man. As you can see, we got the couples back in the building, man. And we have a very interesting topic, man. And we want you guys to join in, man. That topic, man, unequally yoked and love and imbalance, man. And we're here to talk about it, man. We're here to dive deep into this conversation tonight, man. So sit back, man, and relax, man. But without further ado, here's my co-host. You gotta turn the thing up on me, John. I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes. Everybody still something to drink and let that be known. That's what we're gonna do.
For sure.
Hey, what's going on, family? So we have our guys and our gal back in the building, the Williams. What's going on, y'all?
Hey, how's it going?
It's doing good. Appreciate y'all for allowing us to come back again.
Almost
We're
there.
glad to be here.
Yeah, y'all did real well last time, man. We had to bring y'all back, man.
Cool. Right.
For sure. Everybody good?
Yeah,
Yes,
we're
sir.
doing good.
Right straight, man.
Yes. So before we get into tonight's topic, I did come up with another game.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
It's called He Said, She Said.
It's called what again? She said, he said?
He Said, She Said.
Oh.
So this is something a little lighthearted, just to kind of get us loose a little bit, so we won't be so tense. But we can open up, man. But if everybody good, you got your paper or your whiteboard.
Mm-hmm.
Look, you can take
so we can kind of get into it. Y'all good over there, Johnson's?
Yes. My wife, let me tell y'all what my wife did. My wife went and got some whiteboards from Dollar General and then proceeds to give them to our little children.
They wanted to. They were practicing,
which are
their
4 years
handwriting.
old and 7. Gave them to them for every bit of 15 minutes and got their whiteboard back, and it's hanging on by a thread.
But does it work? It works. So that's all that matters.
That's all that matters. It worked.
Yeah, well, at least they ain't find nothing permanent.
Can y'all hear Markeisha?
She sounds a little like back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Here we go.
You want me to draw y'all a picture?
No.
Okay.
So He Said, She Said, the ultimate couples challenge.
All right.
So of course everybody has their board or their paper. So I got my paper, but so the goal is to match answers and rack up points, and maybe reveal some surprises along the way. Matching answers is 1 point. When we get to the deep dive round, matching answers will be 2 points. And then for the funniest mismatch answer, it's a bonus point. So if it's something that just like, what was you thinking?
Okay.
So it's a bonus point.
Let me see your answers.
She already trying to cheat. Okay. Let's say homework.
You'd be cheating if it was homework, not me.
So what's your partner's go-to comfort food?
Comfort food.
Ooh, that's a tough one, believe it or not.
That is a tough
For
one.
comfort? I don't know.
Comfort food.
Let's see here.
Comfort food.
I don't know. Shoot.
Oh, okay.
No, that's favorite food. That don't count.
Let me check her DoorDash.
Oh man.
Hold on. So, am I right? My answer or his answer?
So
Yeah.
So like for you, what's Dan's comfort food, and he'll do for you what your comfort food is.
It
Okay.
can only be one thing.
Yeah.
Mm.
Have your answer. Had your answer.
You ready, Williams?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go with this, man. I'm gonna go out on a limb. Where everybody go?
No, not y'all.
On the limb.
I'm just gonna
All
step
right,
out on faith.
1, 2, 3.
What is that?
Crawfish.
So, Bria, how accurate is that? Chocolate anything?
No, it's very accurate. That's not everything food.
Kenny, and I kind of know this one personally. Crawfish.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
I'm like, that better be your answer. You just had some.
Hey, Dan, y'all ready?
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh man.
Ain't no telling what she put for me.
I don't know.
I tell her this is stuff over there.
So 1, 2, 3. Chips. And
Okay.
Okay, Sister Law, how accurate is that chocolate?
For comfort, I mean,
Don't give it to me.
I don't really know. Honestly, I don't know my own comfort food to tell you the truth. So I'm gonna say it's right. I'll eat it.
She
So,
eat just about anything.
that's about right. Tacos.
All right,
What about
Dan,
chips?
and for you, chips.
You've been eating a lot of chips lately. So
When last time I had some chips?
yesterday you did, because I ate some of them, and you was mad that I ate some.
That was like a week ago when you and the kids ate all my chips.
You've been eating those new chips a lot lately. You ate some. It was crumbs everywhere.
Oh, man.
Okay,
man. So you missed.
what's your comfort food then?
I don't know. I ain't got no comfort food.
Then you just could have just said yeah, like I did.
So is this like when I get depressed, this is what I eat?
He don't eat nothing if he depressed.
You know what? Next couple, because these two right here.
I don't know. That's a weird question.
All right, ready? Let me see.
Next time, just lie.
1,
Say yeah.
2, 3.
Oh, y'all roll small, John.
So,
John,
Yeah, come on.
mine's a chicken.
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 Yeah.
You wrote it cursive?
He wrote it small.
Small ain't it cursive? You big print,
Right?
big letters.
Big piece of paper with that little word on it.
Chips.
I thought can't say his right.
That was earlier today. That's not my.
Well, what is
Like,
Sade, that wasn't your favorite food, Sade?
Oh,
Or your comfort food?
but yes.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, he said chips is not his, but he just got finished eating some.
When?
About
well,
2 hours.
chicken is a black staple, so you can't go wrong with chicken. Like, that's a
Oh,
black
no.
staple.
So the Williams got 1 point for that question there.
Look at y'all. I'm gonna have to find a comfort food.
We should have did chicken and watermelon. Can't go wrong with that.
That's not. We're not doing that. We're not doing.
I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry.
We're not doing that, sir.
It's too early in the show for me to
Mm-mm.
be doing it.
All right, here we go. What's your partner's most used phrase or saying?
That's horrible. He got so many. Why are you? These are hard questions.
It's the beauty of the game. It's the
I
ultimate
don't know.
challenge.
Let me think.
Oh Lord. Oh.
Wait. Hold on.
This one's going to be interesting. I'm interested to see what y'all gonna say. Real look like she already ready.
This is an everyday saying.
Yep. This one here too.
You still thinking, Kenny?
I just want to make sure I got it right.
He over here nervous.
I got mine.
I got it.
You ready? Y'all ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. You don't.
Let's go. Let's go.
Oh my God.
Let's go.
Bust it open for a real one.
I say that in the bedroom.
This is a Dutch show. There we go.
Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness.
Kenneth said that's all he remember.
Oh man,
That's all I remember.
He not listening
I
to
ain't-
that.
I ain't mad at you.
That's why.
I ain't mad at you.
I was not expecting that, but
Oh man, that's
I
classic.
only say that in the bedroom. Let's get that very clear.
Oh, man.
Okay, I do not say that around my kids.
This is just round 1.
Hey, that's good clarity because Bria, they'll come at you.
Wait,
I know.
I need
That's
to
like,
change
let me
mine.
make sure. I only say that in the bedroom.
Yeah, she's not a reckless mother.
Hold
Okay,
on, wait a minute.
she not out there like that, so y'all.
Right, at all.
She wholesome now. Y'all still need some time? If so, me and Charlotte can go.
Y'all can go. But I got mine. She's still writing.
I got it. Well, go ahead.
Oh, let them go.
All right, 1, 2, 3.
Uh-oh.
Okay, babe. Okay, babe. I'm
sleeping.
And he had his written early.
Right?
Is that,
He pre-wrote it before he even said the question. He wrote it down, so I already know what to say.
am I lying? Is it a lie?
It may be true, but you didn't have to broadcast that.
That's the point. And I'll take that, okay, babe. I'll take that.
Sade, ain't nothing compared to Kendrick's answer. So right now, I think Jonathan's good.
Yes.
Jonathan had a killer going out. Kenny went
Right,
all the
compared to
way.
Kendrick's.
I don't know. I'm gonna change mine again. I
We
don't know.
gonna get points.
Look at her.
Sister, I thought you were ready.
I was
She erased it for.
She only raised by 5 times.
3.
It's one of those nice things I be saying. That's a
What nice things.
Oh Lord.
lot of nice stuff.
Anyway, we ready.
1, 2, 3.
You want to?
Oh my goodness.
That's every day, Markeisha.
Almost. He got it right.
I ain't lying.
I say that a lot.
Yeah, to me, to the kids.
She got a house
Because
full of
anybody
boys.
can get it. Anybody can get these hands. I don't care.
You should get whooped.
Right. I feel you, Markeisha. House full of boys. I get
That's
it.
what I'm saying. You gotta let them know.
Mm-hmm.
But he say too much. Y'all know he don't say no one thing. I don't even remember last thing he said to me. I don't know. Shit.
Oh goodness. Let's see what we got here. Question 3.
What you have for me?
I said anything I don't know. You say a lot of stuff. I can't pinpoint one right now.
That should be a bonus one. Yeah.
I got
No,
the bonus.
this is past the bonus one.
I got the bonus one.
Yeah, I think Kendrick won now.
Hey, we gonna-
That's an extra point off of what he.
It was like triple points off of that.
Clip all our business.
we gonna get a point. Okay.
Can you say, y'all want to see who gonna win?
So, what's one thing your partner cannot live without?
Oh, that's
Oh,
easy.
you better not get this wrong.
That's
One thing that your partner can't live without, right?
correct.
I already got that written down. I'm gonna say what you're right.
Yeah.
Do I want the spiritual answer or the physical answer?
Just write both. And let's see what it is.
Right, both.
Write both.
Put a
of them.
slash.
What is
With a slash. Okay.
So we're writing both.
Oh, I don't know. It's up to you. I'm
I'm
talking.
gonna read both.
I just wrote the regular one.
Me too.
I think Jesus is everybody's answer.
Right. That's
Hopefully.
literally the first thing that I just put.
Hopefully.
Do
So,
not put,
you know
do
what?
not
Let's just
put
do the break.
Jesus. Do not
Jesus,
put Jesus.
can't live without him.
That's right. Okay.
I mean, you can live without him. You just gonna go to hell.
I wouldn't.
But-
Right. That's a
So
direct
therefore, I
ticket to heaven.
cannot. I cannot. I'm not going. They can go by themselves.
Okay, hold on. I haven't. This one's hard.
That's right.
It's time for you.
Get it like you ready.
I'm ready.
You ready?
Yeah.
All right. Let's
Got
start.
something
We'll
for
go
you.
first then.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
That-
Wow.
That's adorable.
Yes.
Jonathan, is it right? You gotta answer. You gotta be careful with your answer though. Is her answer right?
I'm gonna say no. I'm just no. I can't live without my baby. Man.
Oh, how cute.
His
You better say that. You're gonna be in trouble later.
Kenny and Brad, y'all ready?
Yeah. I think so.
1, 2, 3. Ha!
Talking.
Oh wow.
Really?
We get some points.
What's the accurate?
Oh my gosh.
Is that accurate, Bria?
Yes, it's very accurate. I thought he was gonna say laughing because I like to laugh, but yeah, that's it.
I put LOL.
Laughing out loud.
All right, Dan, Marquise, y'all ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
I had the same one as Bria.
Yep.
We all know that one. We know that one's accurate.
Everybody knows about the lotion story.
They cannot get that wrong.
What did you put for me? Phone?
And me.
Mm-hmm. We wouldn't have a business if it wasn't for that phone. Stay on the phone.
Yeah.
My wife be up there, but she gonna be scrolling. I'm going to bed. I'm going to bed.
But
I
then,
come upstairs, she be like,
That's this one.
I'm like, I thought you was asleep. I am asleep, really.
I'm on my way, is what I say.
I'm about to go to sleep.
I'm on my way to going to sleep.
I'm on my way to sleep. Whatever.
Okay, so everybody got a point that round, right? What's the score? Did anybody the last
Nobody
question?
I'm pretty sure we losing whatever the score is.
Nobody was keeping score. I think Kennedy them up though.
I'm pretty sure Kendrick and them is winning.
1, 2, 3.
Let's not worry about score. Let's just give people a show. They get what they want. We'll keep score next time. We'll be here all night trying to figure out how that thing went. Kennedy got like 3 or 4 points.
I'm sure they got a
round
point
two,
every time so
this,
far.
this or that, just rapid fire. So each
Rapid
person
fire.
individually, without discussion, and see if y'all come up with the same answer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just like whatever your preference is and mine is, and hopefully our answers matches.
So I write 2.
So it has to match or it has to mix match?
Whatever yours is, and then whatever mine is, and then if ours matches at the same, we get a point.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Do I need to put online?
I don't think you gave a question yet.
Oh, okay.
No, I was.
That's it.
Huh?
Do we see it?
I see.
it's
What's
the
your
same.
partner's most used phrase?
We
or
just
saying?
did that one.
We
Yeah.
we did a couple of them.
So y'all don't see this one here where it say sweet or salty?
No.
No.
Mm-mm.
Oh yeah, up there still showing the same thing.
Okay, hold on.
Do we just flip like that?
Oh, that's the next one.
Okay, so
Okay,
So-
Night Out on Netflix.
so it's like,
Okay.
is it our preferences and see if our preferences match?
Right.
Yes.
Oh, I see.
They
Okay.
match. And
Well, it is probably not.
Okay. So okay, we write it.
yeah, so all these for round 2 answers is it's gonna be just either or.
Okay.
Okay. We
match.
show.
Sweet. Okay.
Both. Is both an answer?
Sweet, sweet.
Please don't have all that salt, man. Blood pressure gonna be high.
All right.
The sweet and salt.
I can't see you yet.
My bad.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
Well, it's better.
Y'all see that?
No.
Not the next
No.
one.
Why don't you just say it out loud?
Okay. So the next one is night out or Netflix in.
Boop. Ain't going nowhere. And bring my sweet snack with me.
On it. Netflix. Okay.
I should have put and chill on there.
Cheetah.
Oh, I had Netflix.
Netflix in. Okay.
Right on there.
John, y'all going out dancing, man?
I didn't see Jonathan and Sade's answer. Oh.
Oh, Jonathan will go outside.
You talking about going out all the time, so
Sade's face.
You always saying if we go out, you ain't gonna do nothing but fall asleep.
Hey, that's me too, man. I go to the movies, I'm out of there.
Yeah, two things can be true.
I don't know what it is about the movie, boy.
All right. Plan it out or go with the flow.
Oh.
That's a more challenging one.
Wait, so are we speaking for our spouse or ourselves?
Yourself.
Like your preference.
Like y'all got to have
And
the same.
y'all's preference matches.
Oh gosh.
You don't have to have
That's why I
the
said this
same.
is a more challenging one.
So go with the flow or plan it?
Or plan it out.
Plan what?
Whatever you do.
Are we talking about a trip or are we talking about like
Yeah,
me at
what
home?
Whatever. Just like what's your most common preference?
Most common thing we do.
Yeah.
I guess.
We talk about it a lot, but
that's about it. We don't actually make no steps.
Yeah. Flow. Plan it.
Go with it. Real sad.
I'm a planner. He's a go with the flow. I knew this one was gonna be a mixed match. It's okay, babe.
Go with the flow.
Mm-hmm.
We act like we're gonna plan something out.
Yeah, let's plan it out.
We got a whole week with no kids coming up. We ain't got no plans.
Ain't playing nothing else.
We see we should do this, we should do that.
A whole week with no kids?
Oh man, I would be in heaven with that.
Summer break.
I would miss my babies though. But
I'm going fishing. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
gonna
they going to sleep too.
Going to sleep for about 3 days. Going to sleep. Don't even.
No,
wake
I
up
gotta.
until
I
3
gotta
days.
I can't waste with the sleep. I can't do. I gotta do some things.
It's
He
been like
said that he gonna be up until 5 o'clock in the morning doing who knows what. He ain't finna be asleep.
That's funny.
I can't mess off my days like that.
All right, round 3, deep dive. What's your partner's biggest pet peeve about you?
Now, can you clarify about this? Pet peeve about like somebody messing with her or something that she does?
So, what's sister-in-law's biggest pet peeve about you?
Like, I'm not understanding.
What irritates
I'm
me
so.
about
So what irritates her about me?
Right, and vice versa.
What irritates her?
Yeah,
Is it something that I do or
No, something that I do
that irritates
you.
me?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
and vice
No,
versa.
wait. Hold on. Am I answering what I don't like about him or what he don't like about me?
So you're gonna guess what irks him about you, and he's gonna do the same.
Wait, what?
So, like for instance, so I'm gonna write what I think is your biggest pet peeve about me? Or what?
Well,
What
basically, what he's saying is, I'm
you're-
going to write what you would say bothers you that I do.
Okay.
Yeah. So then you write what I would say that bothers you that I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
I still don't know.
I got mine.
You roll pretty fast.
I already know what it is. I already know.
What bothers you about me?
So
Oh, let me write something.
You got some more?
Yeah. Oh, wait,
you ready?
Mhm.
Go ahead.
Aw.
it don't look like that's there.
One
One
or
or
two
two
word
word
answers.
answers. Like, okay, babe,
Mm.
sure.
what did Sade have? I didn't get to see it. I ain't gonna lie to you.
She
said
said
nothing.
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 He's looking like
Okay.
Huh?
What is the big?
We gotta get the people
wait,
too, guys.
You talking about just
It's
nothing?
about. Wait, I'm not done yet. I'm not done yet because I'm
Something
I'm
that's
answering wrong.
Yeah.
Hold on.
So you write down what I would say.
I'm trying to see what you put.
Oh yeah. Who's ready?
I'm ready, but Daniel erasing now.
I need to clarify.
I mean, it's a couple of things, so I can give you one if you don't know. Give you one. Give me one.
Kendrick said nothing.
Yes, you trying to be all nice about it, like
It says
long
deep,
enough.
it says deep dive. You supposed to go deep with it.
Oh,
Put
Okay.
nothing.
oh,
Oh,
I'm supposed to
we
tell the
ready.
truth. Oh,
Yeah,
well,
you should tell the truth.
it's not that fun. Turn it. Let me see what you put.
Nothing.
Oh, so.
Is it not right?
Man. When we recruited y'all for this show, man, it was supposed to be for the honesty.
This looks.
Hey,
It was the
blink
best.
twice.
Okay, I
No.
put or biting on there.
No, I didn't say you weren't the best.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is,
Well, if you dislike something that I do, you haven't told me, or I wasn't listening.
Uh-oh.
So, not sure what it is.
Williams have.
The only thing, what they put.
Walk
It's
slow.
so true.
being loud.
I'm a loud talker sometimes, and then I laugh loud. I'm always just being loud. So,
What's something you don't like about me, Daniel?
oh, that's a good question. We
Oh,
should
well, hold
answer
on.
that.
Time out. Before we go there, that's not a question I see on the board. You just making up
Okay,
questions.
Jonathan,
I just
ask
want to
the
know what it
question.
is.
Yeah, I'm being messy.
I wanna know. See, he got to think. It's nothing.
So wait, are we answering that question?
Are you? I
No.
think he's thinking about it. He seems confused.
Uh-oh. Let's see if we got an answer.
That's a more intriguing question because something that you don't like versus something that gets on your nerves is two different things.
Okay, what
That's
gets
true.
on your nerves?
That's
then?
true.
What gets on my nerves? You sell a lot of wolf tickets. You do
Like
that.
what? What wolf tickets I'm selling? About fighting you?
Yes.
I will fight you. We'll fight when the camera goes off. Here we will.
Oh my.
All right. Yeah, well.
And y'all pray for the domestic violence in our house.
Whatever. There's no domestic violence. You see how big he is? It's no domestic violence. Show us the bruises.
All right. What is something your partner does that always make you feel loved?
Oh, everything.
So he don't fart on you or nothing like that?
Not on me. No, he doesn't. But he farts out loud. I'm like, Lord, these boys.
That's how you do it, Kennedy. You tell her, I love you. She should be attracted to your smell.
Not at all. Not at all.
Especially if she want to love you from the inside out.
I never said that. That wasn't in my vows.
Don't do that. People just messing around. Do not do that.
Say go in that bathroom and then call them and have a conversation with them.
Little.
Hey, check this out. Hey. Look at this.
Well, boy, you been on that toilet too long. Your feet fall asleep. Like, hey. What was the question again?
What's something I do that makes you feel loved or something?
Right.
Goodness gracious. As much as you right, we might as well put your up first and then I got to put mine second.
Oh, mine? Really? I mean, so many things. I was trying to choose one.
Been writing. I don't think you chose one.
You ready? Anybody ready?
Yeah, we're ready.
Yes.
I guess you can put yours up first.
Oh.
Y'all ready?
What was it? Hug from the back?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Why would you say it like that, though?
Right. Like,
What's yours?
Calls me flower, speaks life into me.
That's adorable.
That's a good one.
You said by I thought that was John.
Let's see what we got here.
Ready?
Yeah. Right.
It was hard for me to think of one thing. It's a
Oh
whole lot.
Lord. Sade, we're gonna need some answers.
What?
What?
throw it back. What?
No, put back up. I didn't get to see that.
He trying to slide it off.
Get to see all that.
Hey.
Hey, we've been married for almost 11 years.
I hope there's no kids watching this podcast.
You shouldn't be up by this time.
It's 8
If
o'clock.
it is, maybe it's the ones that don't know how to read.
Do not let your children have free range on the internet, guys.
Please, and thank you.
At all. Don't do it.
Is it our turn?
Are y'all ready?
Sure.
Being considerate. Let me have my way or take care of
That part. I thought about putting that too.
Pretty much.
I like to be babied sometimes.
Sometimes.
Most of the time.
She want to be held like a baby. Like,
Same, Markeisha. Same.
put my feet up here. Let me put my feet up here.
Yes.
Yep.
Fuck me.
But she got to fight my 4-year-old.
Yeah. There comes no, my daddy. Yes.
All right, last question. If your partner had an unlimited weekend alone, what would they do?
Ooh, that's easy.
An unlimited weekend?
So if Markeisha had an unlimited weekend alone, what would she do?
I don't know. Wait. Is the weekend just Saturday and Sunday, or are we adding Friday in there too?
You can have Friday in there. That's cool. Anybody ready?
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's see what y'all got, Williams.
Brunch worship.
That is so accurate.
Go ball. Eat crawfish.
It was all right.
Man, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
watch basketball and football and yell at the TV. Yeah.
That sound about right.
Yeah, this is about right for sure.
John, you didn't put what Sade would do.
Yes.
The whole weekend.
That's all she talk about. Y'all ready?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so
and call me.
I ain't gonna call you.
hey,
Literally.
hey,
I'm gonna call you to bring my food. Yeah, you right. Bring my food up here.
What do you mean, hey?
the way you be called, because the way you talking about you going to bed, then 10 minutes later, can you come here?
Well,
I need to show you something. Look at this. Look at this.
Say not working.
I think it's TV.
But so just something loosen up. But we can move on and get into the show.
That was fun. That was cool.
Oh yeah.
All right. So unequally yoked, love in a balance. Dan, you wanna get into it with the first topic?
Yeah, we can go ahead and dive into it. So
Oof.
this is gonna get a little spicy tonight, man. But the opening segment, man, and the first topic is loving someone you don't like. And we preference this solely to relationships. Of being in a relationship with someone that you love that you can't stand.
Mm.
And I've been seeing a lot of this. I've seen a lot of this growing up, first of all, with aunts and uncles who will be in these dysfunctional relationships and crazy relationships, toxic. And then now it has transferred over into social media where we see all these toxic relationships where they're together, they probably cheating on each other, beating on each other. And it's like, man, why are y'all together? You know, if y'all, but it's like, the next minute they in love, then next 2 weeks they at odds. And he the worst thing and she the worst thing ever. So like this is one we want to dive into, specifically this topic. And first of all, I want to preface this. Can you be in love with someone that you don't like? We're gonna dive deep into it tonight.
To an extent you can.
Give your answer.
Yeah, to an extent you can. Now, as far as how deep their love goes, I think liking a person does play a part into it. But yeah, I think for marriage, marriage, you have to like who you love because forever is a long time, or until death do you part is a long time. So,
but I think his question also was in love. There's a difference between loving somebody and being in love. Right. So yeah, I'm gonna have to say no for that one. I don't think you can be in love with somebody and not like them. Okay. Well, I don't know. I just don't think you can. I think you can like have moments where you don't like them at a certain point, but I don't think you can go every day with being in love with somebody but genuinely don't like them. Because then why are you with them?
No, that's a fact.
You gotta like something about your spouse. I mean,
Yeah.
Now loving, I think you can love somebody and not like them, but being in love, I don't think, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Well, I'll say being in love with someone and not being able to like them. I mean, it's kind of like what you said. It's that like is gonna change. You're not always, just depending on if there's a disagreement or if they do something like we just did, like pet peeves and stuff like that. Hitting buttons. Once you with someone for so long, their buttons. When to push them, how to push them, and stuff like that. Doing that stuff is stuff that the other person may not like, and they may not like you, for an hour or a day, a few minutes, few seconds, whatever it is, so I do think that you can be in love and not like them sometimes, but if you just not liking them all the time, then nah.
So
you gotta like them.
What about the toxic relationships?
Right.
This just what it is. It's just toxic. They
It's
don't
toxic.
actually love that
They
person.
don't know what love is.
Yeah.
Okay. So John said they don't know what love is.
I'm gonna say, well, first of all, before we can get to love, we got to start with like. I gotta first like something about you to even say that. Okay, I'm in love with you and all this, frilly rainbows and sunshine, loveliness. You gotta first like something about them.
So
you can't just say you can't just skip to like, oh, in love with you. I don't like nothing about you. Don't like your personality. Don't like the way you look. Don't like nothing.
We're gonna come back to that. Okay, Sade.
Well, sometimes the issue is that the male or the female like the money.
I was finna.
Then
why are they in a relationship in the first place?
But then you still don't love that person. You love that money.
Exactly, and that could grow into quote being in love with them because they provide for you all the time. You don't have to work.
But are you in love because of the things that they can do for you though?
Exactly. Sometimes people are in love because Bobby or whoever can provide for me.
So the foundation is now where we are now, pertaining to this question. What is the foundation of your relationship?
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
That's the $1 million question.
Now this is where it has led us. The foundation of your relationship. And I often say what your relationship is built on is what is going to end it.
Right.
Yeah.
If your relationship built on money, if it's built on material things, that's what's going to end it.
Turn the hall light on. We'll get some.
If your relationship is not built on love and the individual person itself, he or she, then it's not going to last.
Right.
Yeah.
Because if you're not into the person for who that person is and generally are, then you're not going to last. And that's why the divorce rates are so high.
Unless the money lasts, I guess.
I mean, but believe it or not, money gets old. Look at Hollywood.
That's true.
That's true.
There's only so many cars you can drive. There's only so many houses you can live in.
I mean, if they want to give me a couple of them,
like you see people talking about, oh, what kind of money he got? What kind of money he got?
Yeah.
Like, they just there. Once I get my bag, I'm looking for the next guy.
Right.
We see it in Hollywood all the time. We see all these celebrities and rich people, they getting divorced, and we like, man, what's going on? This person worth 50 million, this person worth this and that. It's like, it don't matter, and people often say, the cliche, oh, money ain't the all be all. And then people say, oh man, well, I believe it is, and say, well, rich people showing you that it's not.
Yeah. Yeah, they showing you that it's not because Will Smith and even Justin Bieber, Justin Bieber got a song pretty much. And then Will Smith recently, not too long ago, he did an interview, about imagine having all the money, and then finding God. He was just in a predicament to where he was wish that everybody could have everything that they want and realize that it's not what they think it is.
That's good.
And like I said, Justin Bieber, he had a song, has a song, talking about, he had everything and nobody was listening. Like all of that stuff did not bring that comfort, that love, that, security, that happiness, and a lot of people, that's what they chase after, not knowing that there's people who have it all and then it's not enough.
That's powerful you said that, because I believe that everyone works everything but their relationship. They work a job, they work everything, business opportunities, relationships. They work everything but their relationship. But their spouse, like you do not work on you and your spouse. It's just like having a relationship with God. If you don't work on your relationship with God, it ain't gonna be nothing.
Yeah.
And then when you turn to God, like, God, I need you, God, like, huh? Who are you?
I think that's true. I think too, that's why you see so many people, once the kids leave, they don't even know who their spouse is.
Sure.
They're like roommates. They're like, who are you again? Who did I be? Now that the kids are gone,
sure.
I have to relearn you now. I have to redate you now.
Kurt Franklin said that.
He said
that. He said that for sure. That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Real. That's real talk.
Yeah, that's really
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of couples, man. Their kids become their number one focus, and that should never be the case when you're married.
And then sometimes
Because, like
people
you said,
don't know.
yeah, and so like you said, when the house is empty, and
You don't even know who you're living with.
you don't know who you're living with, and a lot of times it ends up in divorce, or
Yeah.
you see them old bitter couples.
Well,
that
it
don't
flips
like each other.
it flips the question back around. Do I like you that much?
Yep.
Ooh,
I ain't never had to really deal with you this much. I've been covered with responsibility. Now that responsibility has left, do I really like you like that? This is why this question came up.
Well, that, and then a lot of times I don't think people know how to work on a relationship. Like you said, oh, my bad. I was talking there. So I don't think a lot of people know how to work on a relationship. You know, you say people work on a job, they work at their business. It's like, okay, we have a specific goal that needs to be met. So, you know, I know this is what I have to do. But in relationships, a lot of times people don't think that, okay, they don't think that, you know, there is a way to work on it. It's like, okay, we just together, and, you know, or they don't think that they have a problem. So if they don't think they have a problem with themselves, they're not going to work on it. So they're just going to go about their day or go about their relationship the same because they don't think they're a problem.
I also think too.
Go ahead,
I was going to say, I think sometimes when issues arise, some couples don't like to get to the root of the problem. They keep it surface level. So what they do is they just keep masking it every time, but they never get to the root of the problem. So sometimes when that problem arises again, it ends up in divorce because y'all never tackled it. Y'all just kept putting band-aids over it. You can't keep putting band-aids over it. You know, sometimes you have to have those uncomfortable conversations, and they don't have that, you know. So it's
what happens when you have one spouse, they cover up what's going on and they just keep putting it to the back burner, and then the other spouse is coming forefront with their problems, and then now this spouse unloads on this spouse of all the stuff they've been holding on to that this spouse does. And so instead of working out the problem that this spouse brought to this spouse, what about all the stuff that you do? Look at this stuff, boom, 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 boom. And so it's like, well,
isn't that kind of narcissistic?
It is very narcissistic.
You
know, because narcissistic people hate to take accountability.
Right.
So I would do anything to not take accountability. I'm gonna bring up all your bones in your closet
instead of addressing
the problem you brought to me. Because if what you was doing was really a problem, I should have really already hashed this out with you.
Right.
But it wasn't a problem. I was just saving it for ammo.
Yeah, there you go.
That's good. That's good.
So for people that want to work on their relationship but don't know how, like, what kind of things do y'all suggest that they do? Like, we wanted to work on our relationship. Like, what do we do?
Well, I suggest the number one thing in relationships is being able to communicate.
Exactly. I was going to say the same thing.
I was going to say that. Yep.
Like that's the number one thing that fails relationships.
People say like communicate, but you know, a lot of times people don't know how to communicate with their spouse. Like, I don't know what makes you hear me. And so sometimes that's what like some of these people's problems that they have. Like, you know, some people that I talk to, they be like, they're trying to communicate with their spouse. They're trying to bring them these issues, but it's like they keep hitting a brick wall. And so I think the first thing is like, yeah, you have to communicate, but you have to know like how that person receives information, how to give information as well. Because sometimes if I just come at you and verbally assault you and having verbal diarrhea, you know, you're not going to be receptive to what I'm saying.
This is the biggest problem. And I said this a while ago. How you build your relationship is what's going to cause it to fail. If you build your relationship and you guys aren't communicating before you got married, and you think that you're going to say I do, and then you're going to flip that switch, and then all of a sudden we just magically communicating, not going to work.
Yeah, so it's like the equivalent of a guy leading with his money. And so let's just say, for instance, you know, something happens and he loses the income or what he has that was getting him that money. 9 times out of 10, that relationship is going downhill, and it's going downhill fast. Or in the instance for a woman, she leads with her sex or what she can do in the bedroom. And something happens or her drive changes or whatever the case may be. If she leaves with that and she can no longer do it the way that she was able to get him with that, it's gonna go downhill. So
Not even just that, it'll get old. Like just like the bunny, it gets familiar. It's like, okay, it's only so many tricks she can pull before it's like, okay.
I mean, it comes down to desire. Do you want to make this work?
Yeah.
Flat out.
I think that's the thing. It's about communicating to understand. A lot of people say, oh, communicate. But if you're not able to relay a message to your partner, then how are you getting through them? And I think that's something that my husband and I, we've learned because we have two different communication styles. And so we have to learn to communicate to understand, because the way I may deliver it is not the way he receives it. So I have to maybe change some wordings or the way I deliver it so he can understand. And I think that's why, like you said, Markeisha, so many times people communicate but don't know how to.
And on top of that, also knowing that, like she said, learning how to communicate in a way that the other person can receive it. So it's not communicating the way you yourself receive it, because now you're putting that on them and they're not hearing it. Well, this is how I understand. Well, they're not you, so you have to be able to relay a message in a way that they're able to understand. So that way you can get past those things. And that's one of the key things when it comes down to communication and working on communication, is learning how to relay a message to the other person for them to understand what it is you have to say. Sometimes you have to wait a little while. They're not one of the people who's like, let's talk about it right now. They one of the people like, hey, I need to calm down, or I need to think about it, and then we can come back. But if you're pushing your way of, I want to talk about it right now, then they're never going to be receptive to it, because they could still be in the heat of it. And even though your mechanism is to get it off your chest and now you're feeling better, this, that, and the third, to them, they're just getting hotter and hotter and hotter and hotter. And now at the point, they just like, well, you know what? Just whatever.
Candace said, don't be selfish. Don't unburden yourself onto your spouse. Go ahead, Sade.
And I totally agree with Bria and Kendrick just said, but I think what a lot of couples need to learn is, and I think Daniel said it as well, communication does not start when you get married. It starts before you get married. You can't just like say Jonathan and I dated for whatever and get married, and then we magically learn to communicate. That means I don't know how Jonathan receives communication, and he doesn't know how I receive it. So I might just be like, Jonathan, we need to talk now. But he may, like Kendrick said, may need to take, hour break or even a couple of days. So you need to learn that before marriage. Communication is very important.
Yeah.
So does that speak back to really what's the word? It just slipped my mind. When you're dating or you're courting, vetting. It speaks to really vetting who you're pursuing or you're possibly considering for marriage, where vetting is a very key component that a lot of people don't use to really learn your person. And which speaks to everyone said about communication, how they communicate. And then once you learn how they communicate, can you deal with that way of communicating with them? So I think
even being honest with yourself, like it's okay not to date a person that you can't talk to.
Right.
Yeah.
Like before you start dating, before you guys get married, when you guys are dating and courting each other, if you guys can't have a sound conversation, you guys don't need to be walking down the aisle.
No.
Literally.
Right.
If every conversation is a fight,
it's an argument. You don't need to be walking down the aisle. And trust me, please don't do this. I made this mistake. Please do not assume. Assumption kills.
Yeah.
Ask.
Please
Yeah.
ask.
Yes, ask.
And comparison kills too.
Yeah.
Comparison kills.
Yes.
Do
Yeah.
not do those things.
Mm-hmm.
Don't look at another relationship and think that they're supposed to be yours. And then don't assume that you know what your partner is thinking, or you just gonna put your thought process on your partner.
Right.
Yes.
So don't do that. You know, that just kills, you know.
And I think too, like with the assumptions, I feel like some people get into a marriage and they, let's say somebody has a disagreement, they sometimes shut down and they're like, well, my husband or my wife, they're supposed to know when I'm mad. They're supposed to know when I'm upset. It's like, but did you communicate, honey?
That's a
Like,
stupidity. That's a stupidity.
it's because it's like, but you're expressing it through a selfish motive. You can't do that. You have to say, hey, I'm upset right now. I need to take 5 minutes. Or, he may be upset. Like, you can't assume that your spouse is supposed to know every single feeling about you. No, you have to express that. And I think so many people may have a hard time expressing their feelings and not knowing how to let people know so they can understand how to deal with you, if that makes sense.
Well,
So, guys, we dove a little deep in this. We're gonna move on. We ain't gonna stay too long. We're gonna move on. The next one is, what do you do when you marry the wrong person?
you got two choices. You can try to work that thing out, or you gonna split. Like, what you gonna do?
Simple as that.
You have to weigh out the pros and cons to each, because sometimes you get into the situation and now it's like, okay, we got kids involved. Okay, now we got property involved. So you got to weigh out the pros and cons. What are you willing to sacrifice, or what are you willing to live with? Because it's gonna be a consequence either way.
I think the biggest issue is living for yourself and your family and not for others. What are you comfortable with versus what is society telling you you're supposed to be comfortable with? This is something I told Kenny a long time ago. I said, man, you get in a relationship, I want, or don't let anybody tell you or make big decisions for you in your relationship or marriage.
Right.
That's a fact.
He used to ask me like, hey man, what about this? And I was like, yeah, you can do that, but at the end of the day, it's your decision because you have to live with that. I don't.
Yeah.
So it's selfish of me to make that decision for you. Go home while you deal with the chaos of the decision that I've made for you.
Good.
You going through hell, and I'm at home chilling, and you like, man, he told me to do this, and and you wasn't sure if you should do it or not. I'm not sure what I should do, and somebody just made a decision for you. Right or wrong, always make the decision. It's easier to live with it if you made it.
Yep.
Correct.
You can live with your mistakes versus the mistakes somebody made for you.
Right.
Yep.
Always remember that. Your mistakes are easier to deal with versus a mistake you let somebody else make for you.
And another thing is, some of the ones who decide to most definitely take it up to God and pray about the situation. When you praying and you ask God to reveal to you whether you ask God to reveal, hey, God, reveal to me if this person is the right one for me. Should I be with this person? When the Lord reveals it to you, because when he reveals it to you, don't go back and pray, Lord, mend it. Lord, fix it. Lord, bring it back together, Lord. Because he just did what you asked. He showed you that this person is not the right one for you. And then once you see that and God reveals it to you, then you got people going behind saying, Lord will fix it.
Yep.
Kenny,
make it brand new.
I think a step further. I think people already be knowing. I think people just don't want to accept it.
They don't want to accept it. And I think that's the thing.
They'll get better.
Right. I think some things I wouldn't even say it's a marrying wrong. I think it's a dating wrong.
Yeah.
Because you have to date before you marry.
Well,
So
I think it's vetting wrong. First,
yes,
you vet the person. I think
exactly.
That's a misconception of that's one of the things that that's one of the things that I like that they used to do back in the day. Like before a guy could marry someone's daughter, the father would vet him and see, about this young man, his character, everything before he gave his daughter away for marriage. Now we don't really have that. It's now we have a lot of single mother homes, and now you have a lot of mothers giving their daughters away.
Yeah.
And no one is vetting the young man or
Yeah.
the young lady.
So you have to think about it in during the weddings, and a lot of people don't really look into this for what it really should be. When the father hands over his daughter to the husband or to the groom, that's from covering to covering. And so it's the father's job to vet for his daughter.
Yep, that's good.
And so they just thinking, oh, it's nice in the ceremony, it's nice to see that, but no, it should be symbolism for what went on behind the scenes. Probably vetting that guy, or in the for the husband, his mother is properly vetting the lady he's trying to marry. That'll prevent a lot of this being unequally yoked and these divorces that's happening. That'll prevent.
And also, John, marrying without purpose. You just marrying a person either because you want to lay down with them, or you just marrying a person just to say that you're married. You have no real purpose for being with this person. Like, what goal is this person going to help you reach? Like, how is this person going to better you and further you in your mission towards what you're trying to reach, and vice versa? Like, if you're not marrying a person because of purpose, it's all jacked up anyway. Because
what's that at the bottom?
It's just reading some of the questions.
Oh, okay.
Because you don't marry a wife, her sole purpose isn't to cook and clean for you. That isn't her sole purpose for you. Like, that's not her calling. It's just to cook and clean for you. Now, that is a part of having a duty, but that's not her sole purpose. Just like a man has duties as well, but that's not the sole purpose of that person being there for you. And so I know some guys like, well, she don't cook and clean, then I don't need her. And it's like, okay, well, it's like a lady, well, if he ain't got no money, I don't need him. And so, like, it has no purpose, has no substance. And so therefore people get irritated, and it's like, you know what, I don't want this, or you start looking for stuff elsewhere.
And I think a lot of people, they start dating, and it's like they're not seeking the Lord for their relationships, especially nowadays. I see a lot of people trying to find any and every way but seek the Lord for their relationships. And I'm like,
you're seeking the ancestors.
If you seeking your ancestors, seeking your mama, your daddy, pop the balloon, like, what is going on? Seek the Lord. He has the best. He literally knows who's best for you. But when you're constantly trying to seek everything but him, and then once you get into that situation, you mad because now you got all these kids, all these different situations, and now you're delaying what God has for you. And I'm just like, if people would just, I mean, it may sound cliche to some people, but if you would just seek the Lord, you could literally avoid a lot of things.
Let me ask this just a sub question. It still compares to what we're talking about. What about if what you need is not lining up with your preference? And how many people miss who's needed for them because they're so committed to their preferences?
Well, I believe that's all of us at one point in time. What we like versus what we need in some shape, form, or fashion. Yep. Like, we all like some form of junk food. Do we need that? No. Right? Like, you have guys on here, they like strippers. Some guys like strippers, or some guys like, whoever. And they would actually go be in a relationship with these strippers and then realize, man,
in love with
like, I'm going through hell. Or some women, they might like this certain guy here or there, and then realize, like, oh man, I like the future, but he a bad daddy. Like,
Yeah.
Future got 11
He
kids.
had money though. He had money.
Like,
And some of them are okay with that. They okay with being a baby mama.
no, they're okay with it until the aftermath.
Yeah.
Like, nobody likes the consequences of your decisions.
Hmm.
They want to complain. We see it on social media all the time. People sit up and complain about your decisions you made.
Yes.
Y'all,
all
I
the
want to
time.
tell y'all he ain't nothing. He ain't nothing. Like, but you laid down with him.
That's exactly it. Yep.
You picked that.
You had a baby with him.
Was he that when you laying down with him and doing whatever else?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they were.
Or vice versa, guys like, man, she ain't nothing. Man, she for the streets. Well, why was you messing with the streets? Why?
Exactly.
That's where you found it.
That's where you found it.
Why are you surprised by the activity? Why?
Yeah.
I think sometimes I'm just gonna say it, I don't care. But I think sometimes people are just stuck on stupid. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be
That was
stuck on
such a
stupid
nice
at
way
this
to
point.
say that.
I thought it was gonna be a little mean, but I tried to nice it up, buff it up a little bit.
That was very nice because the way I probably would have said it.
And I think the Bible says it's best. Like, you drawn out by your own lust.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Like, so many people get together because of lust.
Yeah.
And then once the lust phase is over, it's like, ugh, like, why am I here? Why did I do this?
Right.
Like, we've seen in the Bible so many times, like, even with King David.
Mm-hmm.
Like, David killed his friend, sent his friend on the front line for this
Yeah.
man's wife.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Slept with this man's wife, had a baby with this
diabolical.
man's wife.
Yep.
How diabolical is that?
Yep. Yep.
And that's why it's so important, people, read your Bible.
Yes.
Like, the stuff that you're going through, it is
can
not
happen.
uncommon.
Yep.
Nothing new under the sun.
Nothing.
It is
It's
not
happened before.
uncommon. Just read your Bible. It was some treacherous people in the Bible who was used by God.
Yep.
I promise you. You can be serving God and be doing some treacherous stuff. Like, no cap. Like, look at the disciples. Look at their personalities. I personally believe that everyone on earth, our personalities fits one of the disciples.
I agree.
I totally agree.
I personally believe that your personal being fits one of those disciples. Whether it's Peter, the one, he high head, he gonna pop off.
I was Peter back in the day. I was a hothead.
But Peter faith, is unmatched, and he was the closest to Jesus. And which was kind of crazy because here's an unhinged guy. He's very unhinged.
Yeah.
He's unhinged, but he's the closest to him.
Yep.
So much so that when Jesus asked him, like, man, who do men say that I am? And all the other disciples like, well, some say, you're Messiah, some say you Elijah, some say you John the Baptist, And so he says, then Peter says what he says, you are the Christ, you're the Son of the living God. And so we have this problem in society now where people are getting together because of lust. People are getting together because it's just something to do.
I think it all goes back to like something that you said earlier about like whatever brings you together will ultimately break you apart sometimes. So when you're vetting someone or dating someone, I think that's the main thing. I think I'll just speak about women because I don't know nothing about what men should be looking for or anything like that. But what is that? Okay, well, I think one thing women should be focused on is like, okay, the guy that you're speaking to, like, what is his vision and what does he believe his purpose is? Because if we're supposed to be helpmates, what am I helping you do? Do I believe in your vision and what you're saying that you're trying to accomplish? And does it align with what God has for me as well? If it don't match up, or I don't think that that's something that's, makes sense, like, why would you even get into that relationship? Why would you even follow that? And then I had someone ask me one time, like, well, can I help him find a vision? No, ma'am, you cannot.
No,
You cannot help him find a vision. He needs to come with that. And if he ain't got it, either you gonna have to wait till he find it or move around, because that's part of one of our roles is to help. And so if he don't have a plan for himself, if he doesn't have a vision, even if he's you're not a Christian and you don't believe that way, he still needs to have a plan for his life, period, what he want to do.
Yeah.
I think that's powerful what you said, because most people get into a relationship or marriages and then one of the spouses changes. So if you have two people, let's say for instance, two people get married and they're not saved or they're not living for Christ, and then one of them starts to live for Christ and then the other one isn't, now you have a battle in the home. Because now I want you to conform with me, or I want you to change with me. And I'm gonna be honest with you. The person who's wrong about this is you. You the one that's being funny. You change.
Yep.
You are not the person that person married. You want to live for Christ now? That ain't who I married. I married a sinner. Exactly who I married. You're the one that's changing. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't change. You should always change for the better. Not saying that. But if you're in a relationship,
you can't force it on the other person.
You cannot force that on the other person. They didn't agree to that when they walked down the aisle with you. They agreed to marry who you exactly are. If you was a heathen, that's who they agreed to marry.
Those are pretenses that they married under, for sure.
Yeah, and those core values. You got to have those similarities, those core values is what they're marrying. Like, who are we going to worship? Who are we going to allow our kids to worship? How are we going to discipline our kids? Like Daniel said, prime example, and being unequally yoked, becoming unequally yoked, even though both of y'all are sinners, right now y'all equally yoked because y'all doing the same thing. Y'all both, like you said, y'all both heathens. But as soon as one of them start trying to live for the Lord, which is awesome, which is great, we most definitely want you to keep doing that. But you will now become unequally yoked in that marriage. So be prepared for that, and that's why in that, vetting and dating stage, you look for someone who have those similar core values as you, rather than trying to find someone who has opposite core values. And now you're trying to change that person in a marriage, and you have nothing but constant battles. You have nothing but mountains. You have nothing but anthills, all of that, all the time. Smallest things.
That's good.
So guys,
go ahead.
Oh, one more, John, then we'll move on. Go ahead, John. We'll move on.
No, so my thing is, I think a lot, like I said earlier, a lot of this would be prevented if we had proper vetting. So of course we all agree that part of your vetting process should include your parents. So about the people that don't have parents that can properly vet, where can they really go? And I mean really go?
Nowhere.
I mean, now you got kids raising kids now.
Like,
I think our generation was the last generation to have real grandparents.
Yeah.
Like grandmas are like 30, 40 years old now.
Yeah.
No, really.
And let me ask y'all this. Is that when the church should step in to help vet?
The churches need some help themselves. They need somebody to vet them.
Yeah.
The church needs to be vetted.
If that church ain't filled with the Holy Spirit, then no.
So they're not getting it at home, and I'm just saying they part of the church.
That's what one of the roles of the church is supposed to be. They're supposed to be there for those people who don't have parents, who don't have family, who don't have guidance. You're supposed to be there for those young men and women, and pour into them, vet their spouses. But it's really about what I can get out of these young people, and so they're not really looking out for them. So you think about some of the church marriages, that you have seen in the past, and like how great were those relationships most of the time. Of course, they look cute on Facebook because they post and make it look good.
Yeah.
Well,
Shout out to the
You
Facebook
bring
couple.
your lady to the wrong pastor, you gonna lose her.
I'm,
no cap.
you know,
Before we move on, I would say this: you're only gonna go as further as your leader take you. So whoever's covering you at the
whoever that
time,
is.
that's where you're going. So if your father is covering you, that's where you're going.
Right.
Or if you're getting covering from your pastor at church, then that's where you're going. But if you marry that man and he's not a good covering,
Because he is now your covering.
because he is now your covering,
Cover to cover.
you're only gonna go what he submits to.
Mm-hmm.
So even if you want to go to counseling, if he does not submit to counseling, you're not going anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you're asking a pastor for help, if he doesn't submit to the information that's being given, it's not going to help. He has to want to do that, and vice versa. She has to as well.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll say that, but we'll move on, guys. And this one here is kind of a tag along: compatibility versus commonality.
Yeah. What does it mean to be compatible in a relationship?
Yep.
Compatibility is just about sharing similar interests or about understanding each other's needs.
I'm sorry, say that again. I wasn't listening. I zoned out.
What does it really mean to be compatible in a relationship? Is
Mm-hmm.
compatibility is just about sharing similar interests or about understanding each other's needs?
Mm. When
I
I
think
think about,
no,
go
go
ahead.
ahead. No, go ahead.
When I think about something being compatible, I would think about, how it reacts to something. Like, okay, I'm a nurse. So whenever we give someone medication, one of the things you have to look at is, are these medications compatible? Which means, can they be given together and not cause a bad reaction? So same thing with people, are we able to come together and our reaction produces something that's helpful, produces something that's good? Or, you know, are we going to have, a chemical reaction and, it's going to be some toxicness? So that's what comes to mind when I think about like, is something compatible? So like with me and Daniel, whenever we come together, like even as friends, we were younger, it just worked out. We had fun, we laughed, we had good conversation. Vices, some other relationships in the past, it was just a whole bunch of foolishness.
Mm-hmm. I think I agree with you. It was actually what I was going to say was similar to that. I think it could be a combination of both. I think you can share the similar interests. I think that's, common. But I definitely think it is understanding each other's needs and wants and, just being selfless with each other, putting each other's needs before yours. I think that is, really what compatibility is in a relationship. So yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. We all try to talk at the same time, but basically we all were thinking the same thing.
We all on the same path, it seemed like.
Yeah.
Now, when you say commonality, what do you mean by commonality? Like what we see all the time from other people? Like, or
Well, some people, what they call compatibility is just commonality. So it's just sharing similar interests, essentially.
And see, and that kind of goes back to what I was saying about the core values.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool to have similar interests. Like, oh, we both like, Thai food, or we both like, Korean barbecue, Mexican food, whatever it may be. That's cool, similar interests. But finding those core values is the things that's really going to keep you together. Those are the things that you really need to find compatible with someone else. If you're going to be someone who's going to be saying, hey, we both agree on when it comes down to disciplining kids, when we have to, it's time to put hands on. Some people is one person's like, hey, when it's time to, let's put hands. The other person is like, well, we just going to always talk and we're never going to put hands, even though that child whooping both of y'all rear ends. And
gentle parenting is what that's called.
but they don't want, one of them is like, hey, we need to, put some hands on, and the other one is gentle parenting. So those are core values that you guys chose not to find compatible, but it's a similar interest of, hey, we still need to discipline that person, but there's no compatibility in that. So that's why I say those core values on things like that is going to most definitely be, helpful in what you need to be looking for, at the beginning. So you're not running into those obstacles, because people believe in marriage, these things are going to happen. They're going to come up. There's no flip of the switch. That's not happening. So these things need to talk about in the beginning. Go ahead.
I think, having similarities is good, but I also think a lot of times that it's not the best. Like, for example, when me and Daniel first, I guess we weren't talking or anything, we were friends. And so I had asked him, I said, hey, what kind of girl do you like? Just random question. And he was telling me like all these different, like, I like a girl that does this, that does this. And as he's telling me these traits, I'm like, I ain't gonna like your girlfriend, whoever she is. Me and her ain't gonna get along. Whole time, dude is explaining me.
Joke's on you, Markeisha.
and so I said that to say, like, even though he's giving character traits that I know are like myself, I know that a person like me and me not gonna get along. Two Markeishas, we fighting. So sometimes in some situations, being too alike isn't good. That goes back to being compatible. Like we can be similar. Like you can have a person like we like all the same stuff, but we might not. Or same thing like being equally yoked. It's a little bit more to that sometimes, because it means also to be balanced. So if we have all the same struggles, we have all the same strengths, we're not equally yoked, because now we're off balance, we're off kilter, because the yoke is referring to the little thing that goes on the oxen, and it had to be balanced. Otherwise, we going in circles. And so if someone is too much of alike, if me and Daniel were two peas in a pie, which we are, but we have to have those differences in order to be compatible, because where I'm weak at, I need my dude to be strong, and vice versa. And so I think that's something people have to look at. It's like, yeah, we both like Mexican food and stuff like that, but also, is he able to lift me up where I'm not strong yet?
I think commonality rules the world. I think commonality
is comfortable.
I think that's the reason why people stay in relationships. I think that's why people stay at churches. I think that's why people go to church, because it's common. Like I feel comfortable doing so. Like I don't know how many people, like the first time I went, I stopped going to a church or something like that. I would feel uncomfortable. I'm like, oh man, I missed this Sunday. Like, ooh, Lord forgive me. It's like it wasn't because I sinned. It was commonality. Like this is something I was used to doing. And so I said that to say, when people get into relationships, people will stay in toxic relationships because it's what they know.
Yep.
And they rather stay here than go and test the water somewhere else. And so it's like, I'd rather stay with the bad that I know than potentially getting into something else bad. And so that's a lot of issues that we have in relationships. It's like, you know it don't work. You guys can't stand each other. You're tolerating each other, and toleration is a big thing in relationships.
Right.
You're tolerating your spouse. Like if you're tolerating a person, even outside of a relationship with a man and a woman, a friendship, if you have a so-called friend that you tolerate,
y'all not friends.
That's an associate.
Please stop calling them your friend.
Yeah.
You guys are not friends. This is a person that when I see, what's up? Okay.
Here they go.
Or it's like, oh man, here they come, bro. Here they yeah, man, he gonna say this and this, man. Yeah, just don't say nothing to him, man. Just let him keep on walking, man. Buddy be tripping. like, and I think that every relationship on every level has to be tested.
Right.
Like from friendship on into having a relationship or a marriage. Like if you have a friend, if y'all hadn't been through anything together, you don't really know if that person your friend or not.
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't really know. Like if you haven't been tested or in certain situations, like if me and Kendrick and Jonathan and we get stuck somewhere and say, God forbid, someone tries to say somebody's trying to jump Kenny, he needs to know in his mind.
Look at Bria, like what?
He needs to know in his mind.
Not my Kenny.
if he's wondering, like, man, are they gonna help me? Right. Or they finna book it on me?
If you wondering if your friend is going, don't go with those people.
Like you just don't know. Or like, man, you tell a friend a secret, and then now it's everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, dog, I told you not to tell nobody. And it's like
I didn't mean for it to. It just kind of came out.
Man, they had asked me, man. I didn't know what to tell them.
Don't tell them nothing. That's the thing.
Nothing is an option.
Don't tell them that.
That's an option. You know, but that's I think that's the hardest thing to understand for it's like having commonality and understanding and tolerating people that are in your life. Like if you have a spouse and you're tolerating that person, man, for the safety of you, and if you have kids, man, move on, man. Because if it's toxic, man, ain't nothing good coming from it. Nothing good. And you don't want to bring your children up in that, man, where they see mommy and daddy going for each other neck.
Right.
You're gonna raise a dude. Go ahead, Britt.
Oh, I was just going to say, I think sometimes people don't know how to break cycles. You know, they see the cycles getting passed down from generation to generation after generation. And it's like your parents still went through it, your great grandparents went through it, you know, but it's like, when are we going to stop that cycle? The cycle can't stop with you. You know, you don't have to be, you know, living or raising kids in a single parent home, you know, just because your parents or your mother or father did it, or your great grandfather or great grandmother did it, doesn't mean you have to. And I think sometimes, Daniel, like you said, we just get so comfortable and we just want to stay in that cycle. And sometimes it's like, you know, when you get tired of doing something, you're gonna say, you know what, I'm not gonna keep going through this. I'm gonna like change my situation. You know, but some people just rather sit and complain and just keep going through the same cycle and wonder why they're getting the same results. I mean,
only way to break a cycle is a decision. Like
that's exactly it. Yep.
Instead, when you're sick and tired of being
a choice got you in the cycle. A choice got you in that cycle, and it's gonna be a choice that's gonna get you out of that cycle.
Yep.
You know, it comes down to the choices that you make, and when you make a bad choice, own it. Accept. Now look for a solution.
Right.
Yeah, you're very solution based with your advice.
I am.
He don't ever want to listen to anything. If you're not gonna let him give you a solution, like, hey, I got two choices.
That's how Kendrick is. That's how Kendrick is.
People call me all the time, man. I'm gonna tell you this, man, going on, and so I go like, well, what you need, don't do that. This is what you need to do. You know, you tried that. That didn't work. Let's not do that anymore. You know what it is? And I realize like some people don't want to fix the situation. They just want to vent.
They just want they just want to vent. I called you to vent.
Yeah, I'm not the right person.
My man.
Like,
don't call me.
I want to move on. I don't want to move. I love them.
Like, and I realize like honesty, especially in the Christian community, it's a far reach. Like so many Christians lie about insignificant stuff. Like I tell people all the time, and people looked at me strange when I first said it. I said, hey, if you're going through a lot of trial and tribulations, I'm not a prayer warrior. Don't call me.
He not tearing with you.
I will pray for you. Don't get me wrong. I would definitely pray for you. I would even fast with you. But to labor in prayer, for those who don't know what that entails,
for the unchurched,
basically intercede for someone. This is what the Holy Spirit does for us. It intercedes for us. To intercede, when you say that you're being a prayer warrior for someone, you're interceding for that person. I'm not that person.
They need to know what that is. They don't know what that is.
You're going to war for that person.
When you're going to war for that person and you're basically taking on that burden with that person and say, I'm going to labor with you with this burden that you're dealing with, and we're going to fight this together. That's what you're saying.
Yes,
we're going to fight this together.
You fighting that by yourself. I will pray for you.
And people lie and be like, oh yeah, I'm going to labor and pray the lick for you.
Like, I'm gonna pray for you. Like that was the prayer.
And I just be like, man, don't lie to me. If you ain't gonna pray, just be like, hey man, I love you, man. Hey, you need some food or something, let me know. Like, don't tell me, because I'm gonna say this, then we're gonna move on. We have so many prophets. And ain't nobody seen nothing.
So many what?
So many prophets.
Oh, it sounds like you said we have so much property.
No, we have so many prophets.
Well, claim it, amen.
I can
that. Many acres, but we have so many prophets, and it has become such a thing now. It's just all over social media. It's everywhere. Everybody's a prophet. Everybody, is hearing from the Lord. What thus said the Lord. This is what God said need to do.
No.
But out of everything that has taken place, ain't nobody seen nothing that happened.
Ain't
until
nobody
it
gave
happened.
no instructions.
You mean to tell me God ain't showed you nothing? And then when a prophet comes, it isn't supposed to be something that I'm not already dealing with. You either coming with confirmation of something that I'm dealing with,
or instruction,
or you coming with instruction.
Yep.
When God sent the angel, he didn't send the angel just to say something. He gave him instruction. When he told Mary, like, oh, you finna carry the Messiah, he gave Mary instruction. Like, this is how this is going to happen. She said, well, what about my husband? I'm finna have a baby. She said, don't worry about that. I got that. I know about that.
I got that.
Don't worry about that. But, I say that to say this, man. As believers, man, we have to do better with being honest with each other and being honest with people who are seeking Christ. Like, be honest, man. Be honest of who you are and where you are. Please stop acting like you're holier than thou.
Facts.
Got your folding chair next to Jesus.
And then once you get exposed, it's like, oh, you can't judge me. You can't judge me. Well, you put yourself on that pedestal.
Right.
Yep.
You put yourself up there. You called yourself that. You said you was a prayer warrior. And you only pray once a day. Like, come on, you said that, right? And so, we got to do better, man. But moving on, man, this is a big one. It says, when the leader fails, what do you do when your husband, who's the leader, has made bad decisions?
I kick him. I'm joking.
Now, this is your pastor. He's the pastor of your household. He's the leader. He's the covering. What do you do when he has made bad decisions? And it could be bad decisions against your own advice. You could have said, babe, don't do that.
I did.
And he stays. he ends up doing it anyway, and he ends up jacking something up. What do you do?
So, sometimes when your husband and you are talking about something for anybody, and you give your suggestion, and he just knows that he is correct, but in your mind you're like, okay, I already know this is not going to end out right. In my personal point of view, you just have to let him be wrong and realize, you have to learn.
Did you give him a warning? Like, you said in your mind, but did you voice your concerns about his decision?
I voiced my concerns. I'm saying we communicated, but he is just on top. I know if I do X, Y, and Z, this is gonna happen. I'll give my opinion. I really don't think that's gonna turn out like you. Now it's gonna work. What else can you do? You gotta let them learn.
Gotta let them learn.
So, go ahead, Marquisha.
Go ahead. I'm good.
I was gonna say, I was thinking this over, and I was just like, man, and this is not the like toot my husband's horn. He makes like really sound decisions because he's not led off of like his emotions or his feelings. He has a lot of wisdom, So Kendrick is the type of person where if he's in a point where he's trying to make a sound decision, he's either praying about it or he's in his word or he's just like waiting. He's in a still motion, and he's just waiting until God tells him like, hey, this is a decision you do or you do this. But I will say there was a situation where it was a business decision. And I told Kendrick to do a certain thing. And because it was just a suggestion, and I was just like, I think you should do this. And basically the conclusion was he didn't do it. And because he didn't do it, he missed out on an opportunity. And I'm not the type of person where I'm like, yeah, see, you should have listened to me. Yeah. I'm not that type of person. I let Kendrick sit with it. I let him sit with his thoughts because at the end of the day, he knew. He was like, man, I should have took her advice, But I'm the type of person where I'm just like, okay, I want to let him process it. I want to let him understand maybe the decision wasn't the best that he did. Right. And so eventually, once the situation died down, I think like the next day I came to him and I was like, all right, we need to talk. We need to talk about the decision that happened. And he actually was like, you know what, babe, you're right. Like I should have, took that suggestion because I didn't. And I always tell my husband, because he's more of like a chilled person, I'm like, a closed mouth don't get fed. You have to open your mouth up and say something. So with that, it was a learning lesson for the both of us, but yeah, that's how I handled it.
And that's my point there. It's a learning lesson. Sometimes when you make wrong decisions, that's how you grow.
Yeah, that's true.
I think this was before we got married. There was a situation where he had asked me, should he do something? And I told him I didn't think he should. I was like, that person already wronged you once. Don't let him do it again. He decided to trust this person again, and what they do, same thing they did last time. But one thing I didn't do is I didn't throw it in his face.
No.
Did we have a conversation about it? It may have been like we just kind of looked at each other, was like, well, we knew that was gonna happen. But he was trying to throw out a lifeline and try to trust that person again. But now there hasn't been many instances where I felt like he made a wrong decision. I don't think when it comes to Daniel that, like, if he were to make a bad decision, yeah, we would talk about it, but I wouldn't put it like as a like, oh, he has to learn. I think of it as he's a flipping man and he gonna make mistakes. Regardless of if he took my suggestion or not. And I may take my suggestion and it still flops, or he doesn't take my suggestion and he doesn't flop. So I don't ever really think about it like that as far as him failing, because I don't think of it as him failing. Because he's just a man. He's not Jesus. He's not God. He ain't got it all together. So I don't expect him to do things right all the time. I don't think of it as a learning curve for him, because stuff don't always pan out. There's other factors in his decisions. Yeah, like if you look at it on paper in a perfect world, this is gonna work. This, hey, we finna come up on this. We got it, and I'm with him. I'm like, yeah, shoot, let's do it. But it's like, unfortunately, there's other factors in the world, and it's like I can't be like, dang, you messed that up, or shoot, you gonna have to learn from this, because it's like that's not the kind of vibe I want to give him as far as when things don't work out, because he didn't fail. Let's get that straight. He has not failed at anything that he has done, because we still working that thing out. And I don't want him to ever feel like he needs to learn something in that. We, of course, he has things to learn. I have things to learn, but I don't want him to think of his decision making as this is a learning curve for you. Yeah, you have to learn that. No, I don't want him to feel that way. So I don't look at it that way, because there's other outside sources that fall through when he's making a decision. I don't know what the other person on the other end is thinking. They may be trying to cheat him. I don't know. We gonna pray about it. We're gonna go on, but I don't want him to feel like okay, you need to learn that.
I think that's the most important thing. I would say, when your husband's a leader, one of the most important things your wife can do is cover him. And when you cover someone, it's not just saying I'm praying for them. Covering someone is like, oh yeah, you might have made a mistake. Let me help you get out of this.
Right.
Like, you cover your children. Like, if your children make a mistake, you ain't like, man, you ain't just like, man, you made a mistake. You like, let me help you fix this. Oh, let's see how we can do this better. And I think that's one way that you can lose your husband as a leader. If he has to look over his back on every decision he makes, and like, man, if I get this wrong, I gotta hear her mouth. Like,
I wasn't saying.
No. I'm not saying. I'm just saying in general, like for husbands, if they make a decision, is now combative with their wife. For it's like, every time he messes up, now it's like,
What I was saying is, I just don't want his decisions to be. I don't want him to feel like his decisions are like trial and error, if that makes sense. Like, and not anything about anybody else or how they do things. That's neither here or there. I just want him to feel like, okay, we trying stuff. We trying to get this thing going, and I don't want the no's in his life to feel like failures, because there's going to be no's. There's going to be things that don't work out, and I don't want him to feel like he failed as a leader because he didn't. And that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
I believe in the sense of, when a guy's a leader, it's very hard when a guy is leading you, it's very hard to, I guess, put unreal standards on him, as far as like, and we see it a lot with like pastors, pastors leading the church. They have these, supernatural standards on them, almost as if they're God, and when the pastor messes up, it's like, I can't believe he did that. And it's like, yeah, he's just a man. Like, he's just a man at the end of the day. Like, I could believe he messed up. Yeah, I can. Now, the terrible thing is when you stay there, like when you make a mistake and you're totally just dwelling on whatever you did.
Now, don't get it twisted. If he keep making the same slip ups and stuff, I'll be like, oh, okay, sir.
Well, I believe that's part of covering.
Are you okay?
Part of covering, especially as a wife, is not to let your spouse to continue to do that. Like, hey, babe, remember we seen that last time? Like, that happened last time we did that. Like, oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. I ain't gonna do that no more. It looks just like that.
Same situation.
It could be the same identical situation, and and it could be a lot of stress on the guy, because you have so many things running through your mind. And for a real guy, a lot of times he's selfless, so he's thinking about his wife and kids. and it can kind of be a mind-boggling thing of making a decision. Because I can live with the decision, but I got a family that also has to live with my decision as well.
And the crazy thing is, as we're talking about this was either earlier this week or last week. I don't remember, but we were just in the car and we were talking about a business decision, and she was telling me, she was like, so what's the hesitation? What's that? And she was like, you can be honest with me, let me know what the hesitation is. And when I said it, she just looked at me and she grabbed my hand. She's like, listen, make the decision, because I understand your hesitation is because of the family. I understand what you being a man and being the husband and being the pastor, that you are making this decision and you're being hesitant about it because you're thinking about me. You're thinking about the kids. And she was just like, you know what? We're going to be great. We're going to be all right. We got you. We're behind you. I'm with you. I'm behind you. And I'm going to be covering you. I'm going to be with you. So she was just like, don't let that part be the thing that's weighing on you when it comes down to this decision. And and of course I knew that, but to hear it and have her say it, because, as a really good man, that's what you're going to do. Like Daniel said, you're going to be making those decisions like, hey, if I was by myself, I could do this, that, and the third.
Whatever.
But with you being a great, leader in the household, you're like, okay, how is this decision going to affect my family?
Exactly.
And for her to say that and to tell me that, it was like, man, like, okay, that is.
It's like that was all you needed.
Yeah, that was what I needed to hear.
Well, that's the most important thing, man. Like, man, there's really nothing more powerful than a feminine woman, because she can make a man feel 10 feet tall.
Yes.
Or make him feel like, man, I can conquer. I can conquer. And if you get a yes from your wife, or if you get a shove from your wife, there's nothing more confident in a man knowing that, knowing that my better half has my back, and she's constantly. And I think that's something that's not stated much, but guys need reassurance too.
Mm-hmm.
And to be reassured that your spouse has your back, like no matter what, I got your back. And for her to tell you that, just like women needs reassurance, in certain areas. I think it's not stated enough that guys need reassurance, man. Like, hey, I got your back. Hey, I see, you're having a tough time with this decision, or you're doing this and that. I got your back. I'm here working with you. I'm not here just for the ride. Like,
right.
We here to figure this thing out.
I think that's why it goes back to, you need to be equally yoked with your person. You need to make sure that the person you marry is somebody who's not only going to support you, but like you said earlier, cover you, make sure that they're reassuring you. I think sometimes as women, sometimes we're known to be naggers. We're always nagging at our spouse and, this and that. And I think sometimes that's why men do need that reassurance, but they also need to know, like, my wife has my back. She's not just saying it, but her actions are showing it too. And like, I'm trying to remember where I was going with this. Just like my brain. But basically, that's why it's good to marry right, and not marry wrong. It's choosing, your spouse. Make sure you're seeking the Lord for your spouse, because in times like that, you're going to need that reassurance. You don't want to come home to your wife cussing you out or yelling at you, so yeah.
Well, that's one of the ways that you protect your husband emotionally.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know it's not stated a lot, but men do have emotions.
Yes,
they do.
And we might not show our emotions all the time, or or be forthcoming with all of our emotions, but we have emotions and they do need to be protected. Just like your wife has emotions, they need to be protected, and they need to be taken into consideration of how this person feels, and so I think that's a big issue. Like, I think the feelings is one-sided in a lot of relationships. Like, you can have a wife, she's only concerned about how she feels and not concerned about how he feels. Or it could be vice versa. He's concerned about how he feels and what he wants to do, and she just needs to get on the program with what I'm doing.
Right.
I think that's why I hate the saying, like, happy wife, happy life. It's happy spouse, happy house. Both of y'all gotta be happy.
That's right.
Both of y'all gotta cover each other. Both of y'all gotta support each other. It's not a one-way field. You can't just always look at, well, my wife's needs or my wife wants. Okay, what about your husband's needs? What about his wants? What about his desires? It's not always just about you. So
I think it's taking account and knowing when to be selfless.
yes.
So, like, knowing sometimes I'm gonna have to put my feelings on the back burner because she really needs me.
Yeah.
And how I feel right now doesn't need to be the center of attention.
Right.
I need to worry about how she feels. And so it's a give and take constantly in a relationship, the ebbs and flows of the ups and downs of what one person goes through versus the other. I lost my parents, right? Had she been selfish and been like, you know what, I feel this way, yada 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 yada, it could have been chaotic, versus she like, you know what, I need to put your feelings, more in the forefront, versus what I'm feeling right now. And so it's just a constant give and take of things, of whatever a person is going through. And it takes a selfless spouse to understand, like, I see the pain of my spouse. I'm going to aid that pain, and I'm going to put mine on the back burner right now. Right now, I need to give 80% in the relationship. My spouse is only able to give 20.
I don't think that's talked about is that sometimes you're not always able to give 100%. People don't always talk about that. Like, they think it's going to be you giving 100% of the time, and it's like sometimes I'm a smooth 40. I don't know what else I can do.
Sometimes I'm a 5.
I mean, life happens, things happen, like stuff happen. Like, I lost my parents, man. I wasn't no good to nobody. Like, and things like that, or you put on a show off or facade, and things like that. But it takes a spouse to understand and not to be selfish. Like, even if I don't say nothing to her, those one of the moments where she should be discerning and be like, you know what? I know he ain't saying nothing, but he ain't good. Like,
yeah,
I'm gonna take up such and such percent of this.
Yeah.
And so it just takes that unselfishness of a spouse to understand and to be aware of whatever your spouse is going through at the time, or where their headspace is at the time.
Right.
Even if your spouse is just trying to figure something out, like, I got so much going on. It seems like everything is coming at me at once, and they're letting you know, like, hey, I need help. Like, I don't need you necessarily trying to figure it out, but I need you to kind of maybe put me in the forefront and maybe take some burden off of me.
Sometimes it can be as easy as just asking a question like, hey, you good? Because, a lot of times, especially with guys, they don't get asked that question as often as they should.
That's true.
And so, like, with everything that went on with, Daniel's mom and dad, it's like, it'll be sometimes like, and I know his temperament. He, like, to other people, he's quiet a lot. But, like, to know the differences in his quiet, I'd be like, hey, you good? And he'll just shake his head, or he'll be like, I'm like, do you even take these kids upstairs or something? Do you want to go lay down? Do you need this? Do you need that? But, like, stop and ask those questions to yourself. Women too, men too. Sometimes we get busy, especially now. Everybody working, everybody trying to hustle. Eggs was $8 for a minute. Bread was $5. So So to stop and be like, hey, you good? Are you okay? Because mental health is, matter of fact, isn't it Mental Health Awareness Month? It sure is.
Yes,
Mental
it
health
is.
is a real thing.
Mhm.
And check on your spouse, check on your friends, and make sure that ask those questions. Are you good? Are you together? No, I am not. For those who are asking, I'm not okay. but we making.
Check on everybody around you, man. Like,
yeah.
check on everybody around you, man. Check on your kids.
Definitely.
Like that was a big for people who have kids, man. When I lost my parents, I had to come to the realization that my child was hurt.
Yeah.
So, like, that was a big realization. And some days I had to put him at the forefront.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he was here when everything went down. He ain't stupid. Like, he hurt. He don't like to talk about it. He don't want to, when his younger brother bring it up, it's a problem. So he's hurt and he needs to, his feelings need to feel valid, and he needs to understand that, hey, how I feel, it matters. And not only does it matter, but somebody cares about how I feel.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the biggest thing of why people don't really share, because it's like you don't really feel like nobody cares.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, man, check on your people, man. If they're a friend, check on them, man. Call them, man. I know people get busy. Call them here and there, but like, hey, man, just checking on y'all, man. How y'all doing, man? Y'all good over there?
Mm-hmm.
Yada yada yada.
Just know when you check on me, I'm a lie, and I'm gonna be like, I'm fine.
I just told y'all, man. These Christians be lying, man. I told y'all, man.
I'm good. Don't worry about it.
But now, man. And also, man, when people ask you, man, just be honest, man. Even if you don't want to go into depth about what's going on, it can be like, nah, man, I ain't good, man. Just pray for me, man, or things like that. You don't have to go into depth, man, but don't lie to yourself. That's the worst thing you can do. Is lie to yourself and be like, nah, I'm good. And good and doggone well, you ain't good. Like, I ain't good, man. I'm in a bad headspace. I'm not really sharing with my spouse. I'm not really sharing this. I probably really ain't praying like I should be.
Right.
Like that's crazy. It's one of the craziest things I had experienced. Like when you're going through, like, yeah, you pray, but you don't really pray like you should. Because you be so worried down with your problems.
Be surface level prayers.
And so you really don't spend time with the Lord like you should, because you're so concerned about your problems, and now your problems are taking precedent over everything, and now you're worshiping your problems.
Right.
Instead of, as the Bible said, leave your burdens, take your burdens to him, and leave your burdens. You carry
right back up.
You carry those around.
And sometimes with the giving God your burden, sometimes you don't know how to leave it there. Sometimes people go back and try and pick it up and put it right back on their shoulders. It's like, no, leave it there. We ain't gonna bring it up again. We ain't gonna,
we like to carry problems. We just do. We just like to carry
We're not
problems.
even meant to carry problems.
This is why drama sells so much.
Yep.
Especially in Black communities. Like, drama sells. Like, when you have like podcasts like this, most podcasts are combative. They're on there, they talking about each other parents, they on there talking about each other everything.
Especially Black people, they want us to on here arguing.
They want us to argue, yell, dig up dirt on each other, all this kind of stuff. And it sells because people like problems, people like mess, they like it. And so if people like it like that, don't you imagine they're gonna carry it around? Like, people get on social media and talk about their problems. Baby daddy, baby mama issues.
And we sitting there listening to it.
Yeah.
As I'm scrolling.
It's entertaining now.
Because we like it. Like, we do.
Like, these people crazy on here.
I do be going through the comments.
Can you imagine
watching, baby daddy over here? Oh my goodness.
Watching a perfect TV
like, hey,
show?
y'all put it on the internet. So
can you imagine watching a perfect TV show?
There ain't nobody got no problem.
Like, it's no problem. It's just perfect.
It ain't gonna get no ratings.
Zero ratings.
There's nothing wrong in this TV show. Everybody's straight. It's just, it just don't work that way. I think that us having problems is a necessity. And I believe that, one, because the Bible tells me so, but I believe that just based on human nature. Because one of the main ways we learn is through problems and hardships.
Yeah.
We have to bump our head on some things just to learn. And the Bible even tells us, like, trials come to make you strong.
Right.
Like, so he tell you, like, or he told Peter, like, the devil decides to sift you as wheat, but I'm gonna pray for you.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't tell him, like, hey, I'm gonna stop the devil from coming.
I would have been so sad hearing Jesus tell me that, like, hey, the devil coming for you.
Yeah.
All I can do is pray for you.
I'm gonna pray for you. Like, you know how disheartening that is?
Like, dang.
For Jesus to be sitting there like, man, he coming, man. But I'm gonna pray that your faith fell not, man. hang on in there. Like, you know how disheartening?
You won't stop him from getting me?
You don't want to stop him? It's like, no, like, you're gonna go through this and you're gonna be tested.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But I need you to stand firm, and I need you to learn something out of this.
Right.
And so I think that's the biggest thing, man, of going through things and being understanding towards your spouse and what your spouse is facing and what your spouse has on their plate. And so understanding, and you're looking at their plate and be like, oh, baby, they plate a little full. Let me
take a couple scoops off.
Let me get a couple scoops off that plate off of you. And so it's just, understanding that and not being selfish, like, so like, oh man, you tired. Let me go get the kids today. Just something as simple as that. An act of care, an act of concern, an act of, just be nice. Like, God, dog.
Goes a long way.
Yeah, I'm not a nice person.
Be nice. So. You're a very kind person. You're very kind. You would do things for people. Now, being nice to someone,
I feel like I'm nice. So,
Well, I'll just say, I would put it like this. One of the fruits of the spirit is not niceness.
It sure ain't. I feel that.
Being kind.
I feel that right there.
The Bible tells us to be kind.
Being kind is a necessity. You should be kind. Being nice is a little extra, little ice cream.
That's
on
a little extra. You don't really need that.
Being kind, being kind to your spouse is, looking out for your spouse and things of that nature, and taking up slack for your spouse and things like that.
I probably should be more gentle. I need to work on that fruit too.
That's the fruit. Fruit.
It's a little small.
I think anybody could work on that one.
I think the one everybody struggle with is that long stuff.
That long stuff. Oh my goodness.
And patience too.
Say, Lord, how long, Lord?
Long.
I ain't got that long. I'm sorry. Before obviously they don't want the help, so I'm gonna wash my hands. I can't help it. I don't know what to do.
That's crazy. But guys, man, we had fun, man. We're gonna ready to wrap it up, man. We had fun on this show, man. Remember, man, for if you have any topics, any questions, man, put them in the comments. Also, we have you can reach us on email,
Instagram.
On Instagram, you can reach us on Facebook. And we're gonna get a TikTok soon, man. We're gonna make that happen. We're gonna get a TikTok soon. But man, remember, man, you reach out to us, man. Any questions, or if you have any statements that you want to make to combat anything that you heard tonight, that's open for discussion as well.
Those are fine.
Remember, this is all food for thought. There is no one perfect way to be married or to live your life.
You ain't gotta do it.
Everything ain't cookie cutter. So find out what you need and what your spouse need and what makes you guys go forward, and you do those things while seeking God, man. And man, we support you here, man. We support healthy relationships over here.
Oh yeah.
Hashtag healthy relationship, hashtag no drama.
Please. And thank you.
We support that over here. But if you want to bring drama to the comments, Come on.
He like talking to y'all. Y'all want to argue.
I have a gift in it, so I'm good.
There are some people who like to bite back, so be careful.
He's fine. He be over there laughing at the people that see me. Tell me, look, this person mad at me. I'm like, I don't. Somebody gonna be mad at you every day. It's fine.
Let me hot, man. They threw me off of TikTok, man. I came back, though, man.
He said he came back.
I came back, man. But remember, man, we thank you guys for the support here, man. We thank you guys for everything you've done. We thank everybody on the panel, man. If you have anything specific to anybody on the panel, man, you can reach out, through Let That Be Known, man. If you have any special questions, man, we can link up with them. If you want to link up with them personally, we can make that happen as well. If you have anything that you want to say to them directly. And also, man, we got some more things. Me and John got some more things in the work with this couple show, man. We will have some singles on here. The next show will have singles on the show. So we will have a different dynamic, man. It's going to be fun. It's going to be funny. And we're going to dive into it, man. And, man, this is all to help, man. They help to grow. We're all here, man, trying to grow, and we're all here trying to be better in what we do, man. But remember, follow us on Let That Be Known on every social media platform. And remember, it don't cost you nothing, man, to hit that like, subscribe, man. So hit that button, man. And, man, we love you guys. But until next time, man.
My ears hurt, man.
You got earrings on.